The whole world is imbued with monsters, and changing jobs is everyone's destiny. Lin, a humble-born student, transferred to become a farmer. But there is a mutated S-level occupational potential hidden within the body. At this point, a mysterious farm was born into his soul. From then on, he constantly conquered monsters, upgraded the farm, and steadily moved forward. Planting bizarre crops. Cultivate unique and independent animals. Search for rare and precious equipment. Lin pushed horizontally all the way, invincible. However, this world is not so simple, and humans are not the only ones that exist. Cunning and ruthless orcs, noble and intelligent elves, domineering and ferocious giants, greedy and despicable goblins. This is a diverse and mysterious world. Can Lin dispel the fog and find the truth about the world? Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Starting of the College Entrance Examination. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Yanxia Empire, Nanjiang Province, Qian City. Xionying High School, Class 6, Grade 3. Class teacher Wang Chuanda is speaking incessantly. Classmates, today is the day of the National College Entrance Examination. According to the usual procedure, the transfer ceremony will take place in the morning and the career assessment will begin in the afternoon. Just calm down and give it your all. The students were extremely excited upon hearing this, and immediately whispered to each other, discussing the matter of job transfer. The 3 years of high school mark this moment, as it is an important turning point in one's destiny. In the lower left corner of the classroom by the window, a student dressed in simple clothes and with a thin figure turned his head to quietly look at the scenery outside the window, smiling and not saying a word. His name is Lin, and he transferred through connections during his sophomore year of high school. It's not that Lin doesn't want to discuss with his classmates, but that no one is paying attention to him, even his desk mate. Xionying High School is a private aristocratic school, where students are either wealthy or wealthy, with a strong sense of class consciousness. When classmates found out that Lin's mother was a cleaner, they all sneered at him and deliberately isolated him. There are even many who intentionally trouble him. Finally, the college entrance examination is coming up. This time, I must seize the opportunity. As long as I become a strong professional, I can be selected and admitted to prestigious schools. Going out and making money to support my family is not a problem, and my mother doesn't have to work so hard anymore. My younger sister's future school selection issues will also be easily resolved. Lin clenched his fist and silently swore in his heart. He doesn't even care about these classmates who have a low opinion of others. Class teacher Wang Chuanda clapped his hands and said, all right, classmates, let's go to the gathering square together now and pay attention to order. Everyone arrived at the school assembly square. At this time, the square was already crowded with people, and all the high school seniors gathered here, about 200 people. On one side of the square, there are many invited university teachers sitting on the podium. They are almost all teachers from admission offices of various universities, who come here to conduct early inspections and recruit outstanding students. Look, I know that teacher should be from the University of Magic. No way, have all the teachers from Magic University come over. Mordo University, located in the hot summer city of Mordo, is the top vocational school in the comprehensive ranking of the Summer Empire. That's for sure. At least Xionying can be considered a key high school in the city and has produced several prominent figures. For example, the Holy Light Knights Land War was produced by our school. Zimming, isn't land warfare your uncle? Hehe, that's right. The student who is bragging with his classmates is named Lu Zimming, who is also a student in class 6 of grade 3. Later, he glanced at Lin who was not far away and deliberately shouted in a strange voice, Sun Yong, what profession do you think Lin will transfer to? Sun Yong also glanced at Lin with a disdainful expression on his face, and shook his head with a smile. He knew that Lu Ziming must not have held back any good fart. Lu Ziming continued to smile and said, "Look at him dressed like a beggar. Will he change jobs and become a beggar then?" Puff. Ha ha ha. The classmates around burst out laughing at the words. Lin and naturally also heard the voices of their discussion. He furrowed his brow slightly, his face firm, and turned his head to stare at Lu Ziming. At this moment, Lu Ziming was also looking at him with ill intentions. Actually, the two of them had already formed a relationship. Over the past 2 years, there have been multiple verbal and even physical conflicts between Lin and Lu Ziming. Although Lin is weak, due to his usual habit of exercising, his physical condition is good, and he has not fallen behind in repeated conflicts. Classmates, please be quiet. Now I announce that the transfer ceremony has officially begun. Lu Xiaotian, the former principal of Wenying High School, loudly announced on the podium, and the scene gradually quieted down. Boom boom. A strange noise suddenly emanated from the slate floor in front of the assembly square, not far below the podium. The slate slowly parted to both sides, revealing a concave hole. A large white crystal slowly rises from the ground, with a height of over 5 meters and a width of over 2 meters. The crystal has a faint white glow all over its body, which is called a job transfer crystal. The starting point for professionals. Director Lu Tao began to preside over the transition ceremony. Starting from class order, please come up if you hear your name. Class 1, Grade 3, Lu Xiaoqin. A girl with an average appearance and a plump figure walked up to Crystal, who had switched jobs. She carefully pressed her palm tightly against the surface of the crystal. A few seconds later, a huge white beam of light burst out of her body, and then a line of words appeared on the crystal. Pastor, E.level, the front is the name of the job being transferred, and the back is the individual's career potential. At this moment, a student who liked to make a fuss exclaimed loudly, "Wow! I've changed my job to a wet nurse, which is quite in line with my character." Ha ha ha. The classmates burst into laughter upon seeing this. It's just that Lu Xiaoqin's figure is too full. Why are you laughing? The profession of pastor is very popular. That's right, the wet nurse is so good, but this student's career potential is indeed a bit low. Career potential is related to the comprehensive combat effectiveness and future career development prospects of professionals. It will have a profound impact on the attributes, skills, upgrades, job transfers, and other aspects of professionals. It is entirely possible for professionals of the same level to exhibit different combat abilities due to their high or low potential. Career potential is divided into 7 levels from low to high. From level F to level A, there is also the highest level S above level A. Amidst the laughter of her classmates, Lu Xiaoqin shyly ran back to the team where her class was located. After laughing, the job transfer continued. Next, Class 1 of Grade 3, Wang Li. Wang Li excitedly walked forward, rubbed his hands and placed them on the crystal of his transfer. A huge red beam of light erupted from him. Berserker, B.level, the result of Wang Li's job transfer has caused the teachers on the podium to nod and praise repeatedly. The teachers from these university admissions offices occasionally make notes in their notebooks, focusing on outstanding students. The occupational category is one aspect, but the main focus is still on the level of career potential of students. Next, Class 1 of Grade 3, Su Chang. Hunter, C.level. As the job transfer ceremony progressed, various professions emerged one after another. The professions are mainly divided into combat professions and life professions. And combat professions are divided into 6 categories. Warrior, mage, archer, knight, assassin, fighting. As for life professions, the variety is even more diverse, covering almost every industry in life. However, due to the prevalence of ferocious beasts and monsters in this world, as well as many exceptionally dangerous dungeons. Therefore, combat professions are what people generally pursue. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Transfer to farmer, but S.level. You are listening at novel full.audio. 2 hours later, it was finally the turn of Class 6 in Grade 3. Class 6, Grade 3, Lu Ziming. Lu Ziming confidently stepped forward and placed his hand on the transfer crystal. A few seconds later, a sky-blue beam of light erupted from him. Paladin, C.level, Lu Ziming looked at the direction of the podium and confidently raised his fist. Although the response on site was mediocre, he was very satisfied with the results of his full-time work. Director Lu, congratulations. Your Lu family has added another paladin. Class teacher Wang Chuanda showed a flattering expression on his face and congratulated Lu Tao. Lu Tao is the teaching director of Wenying High School and also the uncle of Lu Ziming. Haha, no, our family is still far from here. Lu Tao laughed uncontrollably. The Lu family is considered a big family, with a considerable reputation in Qian City. They have transferred to several paladins, and the Holy Light Knight, Lu Zhan, who is active on the front line, is even more famous. At this moment, an elderly man with white hair showed a disdainful expression and poured cold water on their heads. Hehe, a C.level paladin doesn't know what kind of cola there is. Wang Chuanda and Lu Tao looked at the old man with white hair one after another. They naturally knew the old man's noble status and felt a bit embarrassed. The old man with white hair is named Fang Bo, and he is the teacher who was invited by a large sum of money from Mordo University. He shook his head and then added, Principal Lu, what's wrong with Wenying? There hasn't been a career with A.level potential yet. If students all have such qualities, our magic university won't come over next year. There are a total of 6 classes in the 3rd year of high school, and now it is the last class. Among the current professions, the potential is mostly distributed between level D and level B, which can only be said to be average. Principal Lu Xiaotian beside him could only awkwardly smile and say, Shame, let Mr. Fang laugh. Class 6, Grade 3, Zhou Wenying. The job transfer is still ongoing, and at this moment, a cold and expressionless female student approaches the job transfer crystal. A few seconds later, Zhou Wenying's whole body burst out with an incredibly brilliant golden beam of light. Double-edged swordsman, A.level, Zhou Wenying from Class 6 is amazing. Finally, a profession with A.level potential has emerged. The key is that the profession of double-edged swordsman is also very rare. I know, the double-edged swordsman plays with a double sword flow and is particularly thrilling to kill. Wow! This is too windy. The students in the audience exploded and discussed Zhou Wenying one after another. At this moment, the podium is no exception. Well, this student is quite good. Yeah, this girl has a bright future ahead of her. Class teacher Wang Chuanda laughed heartily, as he is currently the only A.level potential professional in the school. Principal Lu Xiaotian clenched his fist tightly, feeling happy and secretly glanced at Fang Bo. Fang Bo didn't say anything, just smiled and nodded. Despite the heated discussion, Zhou Wenying remained unchanged at this moment. She returned to the crowd expressionless, completely ignoring the hot gazes of her classmates. Still so cold. Time flies, finally it's the last student's turn. Class 6, Grade 3, Linen. Linen walked quickly towards the job transfer crystal, took a deep breath, and solemnly placed his hand on the job transfer crystal. After a few seconds, Linen's body erupted with a pale green beam of light. Subsequently, a line of characters also appeared on the crystal. Farmer Lu Ziming couldn't wait to take the lead in mockery and said, Ahaha. Look, this guy has actually changed jobs to become a farmer. There is not a single career in the school, he is the only one who has changed jobs. It's really amazing. You can do it in Class 6. Surprisingly, a farmer has emerged. You don't understand this, do you? Lin An's parents, one is said to be a chef and the other is a cleaner. It's normal for them to switch jobs as farmers. Dragons give birth to dragons, phoenixes give birth to phoenixes, and mouse sons can make holes. In fact, the outcome of a person's job transfer is indeed influenced to some extent by genetics. Some families have very little chance of their children transitioning to life professions if their parents are both combat professionals. At this moment, not only were the students participating in the assessment mocking Linen, but the teachers observing from the podium also shook their heads. They also did not expect a life professional to appear in Wenying, a key high school in the city. It is not that they despise life professions, but mainly that combat professions are more valuable to humanity. Linen felt very uncomfortable when he heard the whole discussion, even involving his parents. Especially his father, Lin Jiangwo, is very great in his heart. Although he is a chef, he is still a military chef in the military. He sacrificed himself honorably on the world battlefield a few years ago. At this moment, Lin An's hand has not yet left the job transfer crystal. It seems that some special force is still circulating inside his body, making it impossible for him to evacuate. Shoo! The originally pale green beam of light continued to erupt, becoming increasingly intense and lasting for a full 10 seconds. This is more enduring than any previous student. Subsequently, a few words slowly appeared on the crystal. Farmer, S.level, look at it. It turns out to have S.level potential. Oh my god! What an S.level! This can also be considered a demon. The students were all shocked, and the teachers on the podium also stood up one after another. The whole room gradually quieted down, and they all stared at the plainly dressed student. S.level has the potential to be 1 in a million. In other words, only 1 out of 1 million candidates can be selected. Of course, this was calculated by the Yanxia Empire over the years. The number of people taking the National College Entrance Examination reaches over 10 million every year, with an average of around 10 S.level exams per year. And the ultimate destination of these dozen or so students, without exception, is only 3 places. Mordo University, Kyoto University, and Military Talent University. These 3 universities are also among the top 3 in the comprehensive strength ranking of the Summer Empire. All of these demonstrate the value of S.level. At this moment, Linen remained in place, ignoring the shocked gazes of others, and quietly opened his career attribute panel. Name: Linen, occupation: farmer, S.level, variant, level 1, 0%, power 10, agile 10, constitution 30, spirit 30, resistance none, equipment none, Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. Mutation. Soul Farm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why does the word mutation still follow after the S.level career potential? What exactly does this mean? After looking at his property panel, Linen was also shocked by himself. Especially the exaggerated initial values of 4-dimensional attributes are too magical. This is clearly a 4-dimensional attribute value that combat professions only have. Is this just mutation? In fact, after changing jobs, the most basic difference between combat professions and life professions is their 4-dimensional attributes. Generally speaking, after changing careers, the average 4-dimensional attribute value is only around 5 points, which is no different from that of ordinary people and remains almost unchanged for a lifetime. Of course, life professionals will also upgrade, but not through monster hunting, but through professional work day after day. However, combat professions are different, as their initial average 4-dimensional attributes typically start at 10 points. But now, Lin N's average attribute value has actually reached 20 points. Especially for these physical and mental attributes, the initial value actually reached 30 abnormal points. This is absolutely abnormal. Puhaha. Just as Lin was still immersed in the shock of changing jobs, piercing laughter rang out again. S.level farmer, isn't it still a farmer? Can it be difficult and still go to heaven? Lin, why don't you go home and farm quickly? Maybe you can catch up with the farming season. The person who caused trouble is not anyone else, but the one who has always disliked Lin, Lu Ziming. Yeah. Ha ha ha. S.level farmers are at most skilled and can farm faster than other farmers, so there's no need to worry about starving to death. Ha ha ha. You're really a loser. At this moment, several of Lu Ziming's attendants also joined in cheering, and the students present laughed uncontrollably. Faced with everyone's ridicule, Lin remained completely indifferent and instead smiled confidently. Only he knows the initial ability of his profession best, which is no different from a combat profession. Even stronger. Classmates, be quiet. Director Lu Tao maintained order. At this moment, the teacher Fang Bo from Moda University had already stood by Lu Tao's side at some point. This student, what's your name? Fang Bo smiled as he looked at Lin in the audience. All the students present naturally noticed this powerful old man, and Lin was no exception. Me. My name is Lin. Hello Lin, my name is Fang Bo and I am a teacher from Magic City University. Hello, Teacher Fang. Lin was polite and courteous. Fang Bo nodded with a smile. I now formally invite you on behalf of Magic City University, as a recommended student to enter our Magic City University. Would you be willing to do so? Thank you, teacher. Of course I would. Lin was full of enthusiasm. This is Moda, the top-ranked university in terms of comprehensive strength in the country. It is almost the dream university of every summer student. Okay. Fang Bo replied with a smile. The value of S.level potential is most clearly understood by Fang Bo, who is knowledgeable, even if it is just a career in daily life. Of course, what Fang Bo doesn't know is that the current Lin is not as simple as the S.level. Lin, he has mutated. The scene of the conversation between the two was witnessed by all the teachers and students on the square. Principal Lu Xiaotian also looked proudly at Lin in the audience and nodded frequently. On the other hand, Wang Chuanda, the homeroom teacher of class 6 in grade 3, was somewhat surprised. He had no interest in this transfer student and usually let it go. Unexpectedly, Lin is now the most successful candidate in the college entrance examination. Surprisingly, a spot at the Magic City University had already been reserved in advance. Damn it. Lin was actually admitted directly to the Magic University. That's right, after all, it has S.level potential, and only a few come out nationwide in a year. I envy you so much. At Magic University, I have a bright future ahead. Lin, congratulations. The wind direction on the square suddenly changed again, and some classmates who usually don't like to see Lin also started to get close to each other. Lin, of course, only nodded to indicate that he had no interaction with these wealthy children. There may not be any intersections in the future. Damn Lin, he was actually admitted by the Magic University. Seeing Lin surrounded by stars from his classmates, Lu Ziming was so angry that his face turned black and his eyes were gloomy as he stared at him. Unexpectedly, the ridicule did not succeed and instead made Lin stand out. I need to familiarize myself with my professional skills as soon as possible, and there will be an assessment in the afternoon. I hope you don't disappoint me. Lin didn't have time to talk to Lu Ziming, so he eagerly opened the skill panel. Numerous and diverse skill icons come into view, forming multiple skill branches. It has also created ever-changing combat genres. This is the skill tree. The skills on the skill tree require a certain number of skill points to unlock and activate, and professionals can obtain 1 skill point for each level they level up. Of course, the initial skills of a professional do not require skill points to be unlocked. At this moment, Lin En's initial skill has been automatically activated. There are as many as 6 skills: seed picking, sowing, harvesting, summoning, recycling, releasing, seed extraction. Consumes 1 mental power and can extract seeds from any woody creature of the same level or below. Sowing. Consumes 1 mental power and can cultivate the seeds of woody creatures on the soul farm. Harvest. Consume 1 point of spiritual power and extract fruits from mature woody creatures. Summoning. Consumes 1 mental power, with a sensing distance of 10 meters, can summon creatures from the soul farm to the real level, and assist the farm owner in battle. Recycling. Consumes 1 point of spiritual power, with a sensing distance of 10 meters, and can recycle creatures from the real level to the soul farm. Release. Consumes 1 point of mental power, can exile creatures in the real world, and sever contractual relationships, as expected. The mutated farmer I transferred to can fight. But what's going on with this soul farm? Just as Linen was feeling puzzled, his head suddenly heated up and his consciousness entered a strange space. Is this the soul farm? What appeared in front of Lin and was a large farm. Although it is huge, the facilities inside are currently very rudimentary. From a distance, there seems to be only 1 dilapidated wooden house on the farm, along with several previously cultivated farmland. Linen was excitedly planning to enter the farm when suddenly a few lines of prompts appeared in front of him. Soul Farm. Level 1, Facilities. Dilapidated wooden house, farmland X10, shattered wooden house. Can restore 1 point of mental power per second, with a storage capacity of 100 grids, farmland. Can be used for planting woody organisms, next upgrade. The profession needs to reach level 10, with 1 world stone. Amazing, it has a built-in mental recovery function. There is still 100 compartments for storage, I can even save on storage bags. Lin happily entered the soul farm. He first looked at the farmland, which was dark and very fertile. Then he entered the dilapidated wooden house, where there was a small wooden bed and a wooden storage box. When Lin was still lingering inside the soul farm, the morning job transfer ceremony finally came to an end. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Farmers Want to Fight. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That afternoon, the career assessment was about to begin. The high school seniors from Wenying High School still gathered at the assembly square. At this moment, the students are fully armed and ready to go. Both armor and weapons are readily available. They are all children of wealthy families, and the new equipment needed for assessment has long been prepared. Linen also stood in the crowd, but he didn't have any decent equipment and was almost naked. He confidently touched the position of his chest, which was one of his few pieces of equipment. Soul Necklace. Spirit +5, this necklace is very precious and is a relic of his deceased father. Sigh. Why did Linen come over too? Didn't he already be admitted to the Magic University? Nonsense. Can't he come and see the excitement? A few classmates next to him had already noticed Linen. He appeared too abrupt in the crowd, without much equipment. He was wearing a white T-shirt, a pair of blue jeans, and empty-handed. Not long after, an elderly man with white hair flashed from the podium and landed in the center of the square. With one hand raised, blue light shone everywhere, and then a circular portal with a diameter of about 3 meters suddenly appeared in the center of the square. The blue light on the surface of the portal fluctuates, like the rippling blue lake water. Look, it's teacher Fang Bo from Magic University. That's right, I found out at noon that he was not only here to recruit students, but also a space array mage hired by the school for a large sum of money, responsible for our professional assessment this afternoon. How impressive. Is this a higher professional? After opening the portal, Fangbo returned to the podium. Classmates, I will be in charge of the career assessment this afternoon. The assessment lasts for 1 day, and the rules are very simple. Enter the college entrance examination assessment map through the portal. Eliminate monsters and collect biological magic crystals. Remember, the number of biological magic crystals directly determines your college entrance exam score, so you need to do your best to collect them. Also, let me get to the bottom of it here. This year, the direct score line for Magic University is 100 F.level biological magic crystals, so if you want to come to Magic University, you need to put in more effort. At this point, the students below couldn't help but take a deep breath. There is no other reason, the score line for this demon has been raised again. Last year, there were still 90 biological magic crystals. Alright, it's 2 o'clock sharp now, and the assessment officially starts. Under Fangbo's command, the students rushed into the portal one after another. Lin also mingled with the crowd and quickly entered the portal. As soon as possible, he has been admitted to the Magic University as a recommended student, but as a combat professional, he always sets out to take risks. So he doesn't want to give up the competition just because he has been recommended to Magic University. Oh my goodness. Lin even entered the portal. As soon as Lin stepped in, a classmate from class 6 of grade 3 shouted loudly. Isn't it true or false? What am I deceiving you for? I was standing near him just now, watching him enter. This guy is really stupid. He has already been admitted to the Magic University, why did he run in there? Upon hearing this, Lu Ziming was gloating and said, ha ha ha. He's dead. A farmer actually ran into the assessment map. Afterwards, he conspired with several classmates in his class and walked into the portal. The movements of class 6 have naturally been noticed by the teachers on the podium. Wang Chuanda. What are you up to? Didn't I ask you to notify Lin at the end of the morning that he won't be using it for the assessment in the afternoon? Lu Xiaotian, who has always been gentle in personality, was also a bit angry at this time and loudly questioned the homeroom teacher of class 6 on the spot. Principal, no, I. Wang Chuanda hesitated. He did indeed neglect his duty. He had always looked down on Lin, a poor transfer student, and naturally did not take it to heart. Lu Xiaotian turned to look at Fangbo and said, Mr. Fang, is it possible for you to send Lin out of the assessment map now? In fact, the assessment maps for the college entrance examination are all constructed in advance using spatial formations. It is not the real world. In theory, professionals involved in creating portals can indeed forcibly teleport Lin from the map space. You are really acting around. Fangbo scolded angrily upon hearing the words. How can the college entrance examination be a joke? In order to ensure the fairness of the examination, I cannot transmit it, I can only wait for the assessment time to end. Although Fangbo also cherishes talents, he can never compromise in the face of right and wrong. Lu Xiaotian looked worried and said, but, Mr. Fang, all the monsters on this assessment map are real. Lin is just a farmer, how can a life profession fight? Indeed, although the map is virtual, all the monsters inside are actually projected using spatial formations. So if it's not handled properly, it could lead to death. There's nothing he can do. He ran in on his own, so he has to take responsibility for himself. Besides, doesn't he have a return stone? Returning to the city stone, a necessary item for each profession, can be teleported back to the bound area teleportation array. After entering high school, students from the Summer Empire are usually assigned a return stone to prevent anyone from running into the wilderness. Ah! The old principal shook his head and let out a long sigh. Quickly, all the students participating in the assessment have entered the portal. The storm in the square did not affect the progress of the assessment, and at this time, Lin appeared in a vast forest. Ha! Isn't this the Bifforest? The real Bifforest is located in the suburbs of Wanlin City, Lingnan Province, and is also a beginner's area, suitable for professionals under level 10. During his 3 years of high school studies, Lin also gained some understanding of the geographical conditions of various parts of the Yanxia Empire. After all, this is related to the future adventures of professionals. Great, so the assessment map we drew in Qian City this year is Bifforest. There shouldn't be a shortage of woody creatures here, which is perfect for me as a farmer. Lin has not forgotten his soul farm. If he wants to fight, he must first subdue the wooden creatures. Hiss. Just as he was thinking about it, Lin suddenly felt pain under his feet, as if he had been stabbed a few times by something sharp. He lowered his head and saw that his left foot was entangled by a slender green plant rhizome. Some thorns grow on the roots and stems of plants, piercing their ankles one after another. Lin fixed his gaze and immediately saw the basic information of the demon. Foot-binding grass. Level 1, Features. Woody creatures can use roots and stems to wrap around passing creatures, and can use spikes to attack. For professionals, as long as it is a creature that is no higher than their 5th level or above, they can glimpse the basic information of the other party. For a moment, although Lin was unable to break free from his constraints, the attack power of the foot-binding grass was indeed somewhat small and could not cause much damage to him. After all, it's just a level 1 monster. Lin made a quick decision and immediately took out a fruit knife from his pocket, cutting fiercely at the foot-binding grass. After a few cuts, the foot-binding grass hung up. Successfully killed foot-binding grass. Experience points plus 12, Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Cultivating Foot-Binding Grass. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It seems like it's time to start planting for the first time. Lin aimed his hands at the corpse of the foot-binding grass and used the seed skill. A few seconds later, 2 circular green seeds appeared in the palm of the hand, the size of a mung bean. Obtain foot-binding grass seed X2, foot-binding grass. Mature in 1 day. Can it mature in 1 day? I don't know if this maturity time corresponds to the internal time of the soul farm. If we compare the actual time, then I'm done. When the crops mature, the college entrance examination will be over. By noon today, Lin had actually entered the soul farm for testing. He found that spending a day on the farm was equivalent to only 20 minutes in reality. We can only give it a try. Lin's consciousness moved, and 2 tangled footgrass seeds were stored in the storage box of the farm cabin. The storage box has a capacity of 100 compartments, and 2 identical seeds only occupy 1 compartment. In fact, a storage space of 100 compartments is already large enough, and the storage bag commonly used by novice professionals is only 20 compartments. Subsequently, Lin also entered the soul farm. Upon arriving on the farmland, with a move of his right hand, 2 tangled grass seeds reappeared in his palm. After he used his sowing skill, 2 seeds were planted separately in 2 fields. After planting, Lin continued to fight monsters. At present, the surroundings are all covered with foot-binding grass, making it very easy to kill. They are actually more of a restraint, and the harm to professionals is really minimal. Successfully killed foot-binding grass. Experience points plus 12, obtain foot-binding grass seed X2, successfully killed foot-binding grass. Experience points plus 13, obtain foot-binding grass seed X2, the terrain of the Bifforest is approximately circular. Each incoming candidate is initially located at the outermost edge of the Bifforest and dispersed. However, as you move towards the core area of the forest, the level of the monsters will increase. At that time, there will also be greater opportunities for candidates to meet each other. In order to obtain the biological magic crystal, candidates can only go deep into the forest to kill monsters. One reason is that the higher the level of the monster, the greater the probability of exploding the biological magic crystal. Secondly, if a professional goes beyond their level to kill monsters, the probability of exploding a biological magic crystal will also increase. Conversely, the probability will be very low. After more than 10 minutes, Lin En's whole body erupted with a light green beam of light. Upgraded. Lin En opened the property panel, and the 4-dimensional properties have changed. Name. Lin En, Occupation. Farmer, S.Level, Variant, Level. 2, 8%, Power. 20, Agile. 20, Constitution. 50, Spirit. 50 plus 5, Resistance. None, Equipment. Soul Necklace, Soul Necklace. Spirit plus 5, surprisingly, both physical and mental health have improved by 20 points. It seems that as a farmer, my main focus is on having thick blood, high defense, and abundant energy. According to this trend, my 4-dimensional attributes will become increasingly distorted in the future. After being promoted one level, Lin En had more than 10 more seeds of bound foot grass on hand. He entered the soul farm again and sowed 8 seeds on the remaining farmland. So, all 10 pieces of farmland have been fully utilized, and foot-binding grass has been planted uniformly. After sowing the seeds, Lin En's mental power was instantly depleted by 8 points, leaving only 42 points of his original 50 points of mental power. By the way, you can try the mental recovery function of the cabin. Lin En entered the dilapidated wooden house and lay on the wooden bed. The mental energy that had been consumed immediately recovered at a speed of 1 point per second. Of course, the recovery speed here is benchmarked against farm time. According to the time conversion rate between reality and soul farms, a day on the farm is equivalent to 20 minutes of reality. So, 1 second on the farm is equivalent to 0.013 seconds in reality. In other words, within 0.013 seconds, Lin En can autonomously recover some mental strength. Such a recovery speed, when applied to the real world, can almost be considered infinite spiritual power. Leaving the cabin, Lin En looked at the farmland and immediately showed an excited expression. The 2 previously planted plants of foot-binding grass have matured by this time, and they are exactly the same as the real foot-binding grass. Great! The growth cycle of crops corresponds to the farm's time rules. After returning to reality, Lin En couldn't wait to start testing the 2 most important skills. Summoning and recycling. Just as Lin En was about to unleash his skills, the sound of humming echoed from far to near. Not good. It's a forest boar. Forest boar. Level 3, Features. Earth-type creatures, greedy, like to run amok. Lin En thought for a moment and pointed her finger at the position 3 meters in front of her. A tangled foot grass immediately left the farm and appeared out of nowhere, firmly rooted in the ground. Entangled. He gave instructions in his heart. Following Lin En's thoughts, the foot-binding grass instantly extended green plant roots and grabbed one of the hind legs of the rushing forest boar. The rhizomes of foot-binding grass are very flexible and can be easily cut open with sharp tools. But brute force is not enough, and this material has some characteristics similar to rubber bands. Humph, humph. The bound forest boar roared angrily. Lin En did not stop giving instructions, and with another movement of his fingers, he summoned another mature foot-binding grass. Entangled. The foot-binding grass landed on the right front of the forest boar, tying one of its front legs as well. After being bound one by one, the wild boar in the forest suddenly split in place. Spike. Lin En continued to give instructions, stating that foot-binding grass has 2 skills. In addition to entangling, it also has spikes. The roots and stems of 2 tangled grass plants simultaneously produce small spikes that pierce into the legs of wild boars, causing them to howl again. After being restrained by the foot-binding grass, it was much more convenient for Linen to move his hands. He stepped forward with one swift step, pulled out the fruit knife, and saw the right moment to directly insert it into the pig's head. Successfully killed forest boar. Experience value plus 32, obtain F.level biological magic crystal X1, obtain wild boar tooth X1, cool. This should probably be my way of fighting in the future. At present, this is somewhat similar to the summoner profession. By the way, we can now summon plants to assist in battles. I wonder if we can summon animals like wild boars in the future. At level 10, you can upgrade your farm. Let's take a look later. Linen raised a black crystal the size of a fingernail and leaned in front of him, saying, "Is this the biological magic crystal?" He learned in his textbook that there is a black magic blood within the magical objects in this world, and the magic blood is the source of the power of the monsters. During the operation of the magic blood within the magic object, there is a certain probability that it will automatically condense into magic crystals, but not necessarily, depending on individual circumstances. The function of magic crystals is very extensive, mainly used in pharmaceuticals and enchantment. Recycling. Linen used a skill to directly retrieve the 2 summoned foot-binding grasses from the farmland. Afterwards, Linen rested in place for a while until all the foot-binding grass planted in the soul farm matured. How could it still automatically upgrade? Linen discovered that the 2 earliest planted foot-binding plants had all become level 2 organisms, and when they first matured, they were only level 1. It seems that even when it matures, the farmland will continue to nourish the crops planted. This effect is quite good, but I don't know how many levels it will be upgraded to. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. Angry King Flower, for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The battle continued, and Linen slowly began to penetrate deep into the green forest. In addition to the forest boar, other forest monsters have also appeared. Under the restraint of a total of 10 foot-binding plants, although Linen only had a fruit knife, he was still very easy-going when fighting monsters. His tactics are very simple, using foot-binding grass to bind them into 3 circles inside and 3 circles outside. Anyway, Linen can freely release his skills. After all, his skill consumption is only 1 mental power. Moreover, the soul farm can still restore its spirit internally and is not afraid of consumption. After the prey is completely immobile, use a fruit knife to vigorously poke their vital points. A poke is accurate. Successfully killed forest boar. Experience value plus 32, obtain wild boar tooth X1, successfully killed the crimson spider. Experience plus 45, obtain F.level biological magic crystal X1, obtain spider legs X2, 2 hours later, after killing many forest monsters, Linen finally rose to level 5. His 4-dimensional attributes have also steadily improved. Strength and agility have reached 50 points respectively. However, both physical and mental health are extremely terrifying, and by this time they have all exceeded 100. In terms of physical fitness, it's already 110 points, which is quite abnormal. This kind of physique makes it impossible for a person to cause any substantial damage with just a few stabbings and a little blood. In terms of spirit, due to the 5 bonus of the soul necklace, it is already 115 points. At present, in addition to some materials dropped from monsters, Linen has also obtained 12 F.level biological magic crystals. Basically, monsters above level 3 have a chance to drop biological magic crystals. After resting for a while, we continued to delve deep into the green forest. Bark. When passing by a towering tree, Linen seemed to have kicked something. My toes are a bit sore. He was about to lower his head to take a clear look, but suddenly his abdomen hurt, as if he had been punched hard. I saw a huge yellow flower no longer curling up, but slowly rising in place, completely standing up like a person. Its stamens resemble a human face, and the petals around it are like his hair, growing in a circle around his face. The flower branches are thick and long, extending to the ground and branching left and right, like two legs. There are two thick leaves extending from the middle part of the flower branch, and the front end is very thick, like two plump hands. Overlord flower. Level 5, Features. Wood-type creatures, with a hot temper and a tendency to sleep. Once disturbed, they will use their fists to attack, resembling a boxer. Good guy, it turns out you kicked the bawang flower. When Linen reacted, he covered his punched abdomen and quickly retreated. Dada. To Lin En's surprise, the king flower let out a strange cry and suddenly chased after him. And its original yellow petals have turned red, clearly a bit angry, as if carrying a wake-up vibe. Don't come over. Lin En suddenly didn't react. He didn't expect that the Overlord flower would actually walk. Although some reading materials may contain information about monsters, it is impossible to know everything about the vast world. According to common sense, most wooden monsters cannot walk. But it can only be said that Lin En is rarely seen and often strange. Ada. 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 Ba Wanghua doesn't care if you're ready or not, rushing up to Lin En is a skilled combination of punches. Lin En was punched twice in the abdomen and 3 in the face, and his whole body was thrown 2 to 3 meters away. Fortunately, Lin En's physical condition is high, otherwise he might have fainted on the spot. Entangled. Lin En, who fell to the ground, held back the huge pain and immediately summoned the foot-binding grass to wrap it around. The king flower tried to struggle, but its brute force was quite strong, almost uprooting the foot-binding grass. Entangled. Entangled. Lin En did not delay either, releasing foot-binding grass one after another and dispersing it in fixed positions, finally fixing the irritable king flower in place. Dada. Dada. The king flower tried to beg for mercy. To your sister. Do you think you are Bruce Lee? Lin En didn't give her a chance. When the fruit knife was aimed at the flower branch of the king flower, it was just a blow. It's quite hard. Cack. 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 After pulling back and forth for more than 10 times, the bawang flower was finally cut off by Lin En on the spot, and a large amount of green plant juice splashed out. It has to be said that the scene was somewhat bloody. Successfully killed the Overlord flower. Experience plus 56, obtain F.level biological magic crystal X1, obtain bawang flower petals X2, due to the fact that the bawang flower is a woody creature, Lin En relentlessly used the seed skill after killing it. Obtain the seeds of the king flower X3, Overlord flower. Mature in 2 days, farm 2 days, which means 40 minutes of real time. I won't leave for now, let's wait for the cultivation of the Overlord flower before leaving. I almost told you earlier. Lin En let out a big breath, and even now his face still hurts a bit. As the forest deepens, the strength of the monsters will definitely become stronger and stronger. Lin En originally had no equipment, no serious weapons, and strictly speaking, the fruit knife could not be considered a weapon. Once the king flower is cultivated well, his strength will definitely increase significantly. This time, Lin En was actually lucky. Just now, Ba Wanghua's consecutive combination punches did not knock him unconscious. Lin En entered the soul farm and exerted the release function on the 3 tangled grass plants on the farmland. After all, currently there are only 10 pieces of farmland, all of which are planted with foot-binding grass, and there is no vacant land left. I can only hope that the number of farmland will increase after the farm upgrade in the future. After the skill takes effect, these 3 tangled grass plants disappear from the farm without a trace. Lin En can no longer perceive them. Next, Lin En planted the newly obtained seeds of the king flower and briefly reviewed the current biological situation of the farmland. Foot-binding grass. 7 plants Overlord flower. 3 plants The foot-binding grass is already a level 3 creature, but it hasn't grown to level 4. It seems that although the creatures on the farm will continue to grow, they will not exceed their own growth limits. Linen couldn't help feeling a bit regretful. I guess so. Just now Linen has been walking all the way, and all the foot-binding grass is indeed within the range of level 1 to level 3, so it can grow up to level 3 at most. Linen replenished his spiritual energy in the soul farm and rested by a big tree. At present, we are only waiting for the king flower to mature. For a long time. Oh. Isn't this our magic big guarantee student? Hee, what's wrong? Are you going to take a break? A mocking voice sounded not far from Lin En's side. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Either you die or I die, please collect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Linen followed the sound and saw a professional dressed in fine leather armor slowly walking towards him, holding a silver spear of equal size, imposing and imposing. The person who came was none other than Lu Ziming's top attendant, Sun Yong. Gunfighter, level 6. Although Gunfighter is also a warrior class, it is not a major in strength, but rather agility. That's also why Sun Yong is currently wearing leather armor. These wealthy children have already prepared tailored equipment for themselves. Unlike Linen, who only has a necklace but can only use a fruit knife. The incoming enemy is not good, and we need to be prepared for battle. The king flowers on the farm will take about 3 minutes to mature. With them, I can definitely defeat Sun Yong. Try to delay the time as much as possible. Linen secretly thought to himself that he had not spoken to Sun Yong on the surface. He and the group of people like Lu Ziming have been at odds for a long time, and there is nothing unnecessary to say. Seeing Linen silent, Sun Yong shouted, "Hey! Linen, don't pretend to be deaf for me. Be smart, hand it over now." He spread out his right hand and hooked Linen. Linen answered slowly, "What should I hand in?" "Nonsense. Since you're lucky enough to have come here, you must have collected a lot of biological magic crystals. Give them all to me. Perhaps as soon as I'm in a good mood, I'll show mercy and take it lightly. At least it will give you a healthy leg." In fact, this was the conspiracy of people like Lu Ziming back then. Previously, at the school assembly square, when Lu Ziming and others saw Linen also entering the assessment map, they had reached a malicious consensus. That is, no matter who meets Linen, he must be beaten to disability. He can't even go to Magic City University. Anyway, what happens on the assessment map, as long as high-level professionals from the outside world don't constantly monitor it with spatial formations, they won't even know. Of course, there is no monitoring at all, and the college entrance examination already encourages candidates to compete with each other. Fighting monsters is one aspect, while competing with professionals is another. "Are you sure you want to fight me?" Linen asked with a smile on his face. "Puhaha. What's wrong? Can you, an unarmed farmer, still turn the sky upside down?" Lin En's face gradually darkened and he said, "Then you can give it a try." "Okay. I'll make you speak hard." Before Sun Yong could finish speaking, he suddenly swung his spear and immediately swept towards Lin En's leg position. He didn't use the professional skills of a gunfighter at first, but casually took on ordinary attacks, attempting to trick Linen. Linen had already been prepared, retreating suddenly to avoid the sweeping of the spear. Seeing that the first blow had been dodged, Sun Yong smiled again and chased after him with his gun. Linen is like a turtle in a jar to him. However, Linen no longer gave him this opportunity. With a thought in his mind, a foot-binding grass suddenly appeared behind Sun Yong, and a green rhizome directly wrapped around his left leg. Damn it! How come there's still foot-binding grass in this area? Sun Yong was both angry and puzzled. After all, the foot-binding grass should only appear on the outermost edge of the Bai forest. He wanted to adjust his gun gesture in order to cut off the roots of the foot-binding grass under his feet. But before he could make a move, he found out that at some point a stem of bound grass had quietly appeared, tightly gripping the handle of the long spear. Later on, before he could react, one after another, tangled foot grass flashed out of nowhere. Entangled. Spike. Lin announced arrogantly. The obedient foot-binding grass each fulfilled their duties, firmly restraining Sun Yong in place and occasionally releasing wooden thorns to harm him. Impossible. How could this be? What kind of profession are you? Sun Yong endured the pain and shouted inexplicably. At this point, he naturally understood that these foot-binding plants were all written by Lin. Lin walked slowly towards him without responding. A whirlwind sweeping. Sun Yong finally exerted his skills in an attempt to make a final move. This is one of the initial skills of gunfighter, mainly using a long spear to rotate and sweep in order to break free from the siege of monsters. However, as the silver spear has already been controlled, this skill has not been substantially utilized. Just symbolically creating a whirlwind in the original area, causing the roots and stems of these foot-binding plants to pull and tug, did not have much effect. Do you only think about releasing skills now? I'm sorry, it's already too late. For Lin, if Sun Yong uses his skills on the first attack, there is still a great chance of killing Lin. Another initial skill of the gunfighter, Long Lance Charge, is both fast and accurate, and Lin's current speed makes it impossible to dodge. But it's too late to say anything now. Then, Lin's fingers moved 3 times in a row. Shwa. 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 3 level 5 king flowers have finally appeared as promised. Beat him up for me. With Lin's command, he remained expressionless without any hesitation. As soon as the bawang flower landed, it relentlessly rushed towards Sun Yong. 3 dominant flowers, like 3 fierce boxers, launched a brutal and inhumane siege on Sun Yong. Ada. 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 Ah. 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 Sun Yong screamed in agony, while the Ba Wang Hua faction became increasingly popular. They will not show any mercy and will only obey Lin. Stop it. After more than half a minute of siege, Lin finally made the Overlord flower stop attacking. At this point, Sun Yong was completely unrecognizable, his entire face swollen like a pig's head. At least dozens of punches were hit in the abdomen and face, and the whole person was on the brink of death. Lin, please, don't kill me, don't kill me. Sun Yong groaned weakly, tears of regret streaming down his face. Sun Yong, we are no longer children. We have already changed jobs. This is not a school, and fighting is no longer just a family affair. Do you remember the school's physical education teacher's earnest teachings on us? The first key to survival in the wilderness is to deal with enemies. For the enemy, either you die or I die. After speaking, Lin decisively swiped the fruit knife in his hand towards Sun Yong's neck, cutting off all his thoughts. In the world of professionals, killing is the norm. Successfully killed spear fighter. Experience plus 68, after Sun Yong's death, his entire equipment naturally became ownerless and was acquired by Lin one by one. Silver Moon Spear. Strength plus 5, Agility plus 5, Brave Hat. Physical Fitness plus 3, Brave Leather Armor. Physical Fitness plus 5, Swift Leather Pants. Agility plus 5, Swift Leather Boots. Agility plus 3, Red Heart Ring. Physical Fitness plus 6, Bleeding Resistance plus 5, undoubtedly, he is the son of a wealthy family. He came up with 2 yellow equipment. In this world, equipment has a clear distinction of quality. The color displayed on equipment names varies for equipment of different qualities. According to quality, it is divided into white, 0, blue, 1, yellow, 2, green, 3, set, dark gold, 5, purple, 8, and orange, 10. The number of attributes or magic added to equipment of different qualities is also significantly different. For example, blue only has one effect bonus, while yellow has 2 effect bonuses. Therefore, Sun Yang Silver Moon Spear and Red Heart Ring are both yellow equipment, while the rest are blue equipment. Like Lin and Soul Necklace, it also belongs to blue equipment. And that fruit knife actually belongs to white equipment, because the bonus of white equipment is extremely small, less than 1 point, so even the bonus effect is not displayed on the equipment. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Quick upgrade. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After wearing the confiscated equipment and weapons, Lin and strength further increased. Strength 50 plus 5, agility 50 plus 13, physical fitness 110 plus 14, spirit 110 plus 5. And it also adds 5 points of bleeding resistance. In addition to equipment, Lin found 19 F.level creature magic crystals and other magic drop materials from Sun Yang's storage bag. In this way, with the 13 he had previously collected, his number of biological magic crystals has reached 32. This quantity can be considered quite objective, and the assessment time has only passed by more than 3 hours. After counting the spoils of war, Lin found that the sun was unknowingly about to set in the west. Before it gets dark, it's better to start more monsters as soon as possible. Adjust the distribution of troops again. Successfully killed the Overlord Flower. Experience plus 64, obtain Bawang Flower Petals X1, successfully killed Claw Wolf. Experience plus 65, obtain F.level Biological Magic Crystal X1, obtain Claw X2, not long after, Lin collected dozens of seeds of the King Flower again. He once again released 4 tangled grass plants in the Soul Farm to replace the seeds of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. The current farm organisms are 3 tangled foot grasses and 7 king flowers. In addition, Lin also found a small tree hole above a large tree in the surrounding area, so he climbed up and settled down first. After dealing with all of this, the sky finally completely darkened. The Bi-Forest at night is very quiet, and the cries of forest monsters can be heard everywhere. Even some nocturnal monsters that are not visible during the day may appear. Lin leaned against the inner wall of the tree hole, eating the pre-carried dry food while planning the next action. The assessment time is 1 day, a full 24 hours, and the night time is as high as about 10 hours. Based on the experience of previous students in the college entrance examination, they usually choose to find a place to rest at night, and then accelerate their sprint at dawn to collect biological magic crystals as much as possible. After all, there are too many unforeseeable dangers due to blurred vision at night. If one is not careful, they may be besieged by monsters, and in the event of remaining health, they will have to use the Return City Stone, which will lead to early return home and exit the assessment. In fact, almost all of the top college entrance exam students over the years have chosen to continue fighting monsters and upgrading at night, which is also the fundamental reason for their gap with ordinary students. Opportunities and dangers always coexist. 10 hours account for nearly half of the assessment time and must be utilized. Only by reaching level 10 as soon as possible can we upgrade to Soul Farm. For Lin, who has already been recommended to Oda, collecting biological magic crystals is actually not the top priority. Upgrading the Soul Farm and continuing to enhance one's own strength is the most important thing. Strength is the primary productive force. I almost forgot that upgrading the farm requires 1 World Stone. According to the book, the World Stone is only available for elite level and above boss monsters to drop. Forget it, let's move on to level 10 first. After making up his mind, Lin jumped down from the tree hole and decided to continue moving towards the core area of the Bi-Forest. In fact, he had already thought of a way to fight at night. During the afternoon monster hunt, he actually made an amazing discovery. That is, when controlling the King Flower, he can observe the surrounding environment from the perspective of the king flower. That is to say, he can see whatever the king flower can see. I don't know if such a dark sky has any impact on the flower, Bawang. Thinking about it, Linen summoned all 7 overlord flowers. At this moment, all these king flowers have grown to the highest level of level 8. Sure enough, after Linen focused his thoughts on one of the king flowers, the sky suddenly brightened. The night is no different from the day for the king flower, and the vision of monsters is indeed different from that of humans. After the formation was properly arranged, Linen continued to brush monsters and upgrade in this gloomy night. Successfully killed Claw Wolf. Experience plus 65, obtain F.level Biological Magic Crystal X1, obtain Claw X2, upgrade to level 6. Upgrade to level 7. At midnight, Linen finally entered the core area of the Biforest. However, in fact, the core area is very large, occupying almost half of the area of the Biforest. The monsters in the core area are all level 8 or above, but it doesn't make any difference for Linen. He still kills them vigorously. Hey! I'm not letting anyone sleep anymore. It's so noisy in the middle of the night. Just as Linen was passing by a huge banyan tree, a few irritable sounds suddenly came from the tree. Then a rugged-looking, bearded boy poked his head out of the tree hole and looked around. Linen looked up with the help of Ba Wang Hua and realized it was Wang Li from Class 1 of Grade 3. It's the student who switched careers and became a berserker. Sorry, I'm busy brushing monsters, so let's go, Linen smiled apologetically. Along the way, such scenes have occurred more than once. It can only be said that candidates with slightly stronger abilities have already taken the lead. Lin En's starting point is indeed relatively low. But who would have thought that he was now pushing a group of domineering flowers all the way? Brother, you can do it. It's dark at night, aren't you afraid? Although the scene below was a bit blurry, Wang Li saw that Linen had the intention to apologize, so he naturally stopped caring and began to call himself brothers. It's not a big problem, Linen said with a relaxed smile while commanding the bawang flower to kill monsters. You're amazing, brother. I'm Wang Li from Class 1, which class are you from? Class 6, Linen. Linen huh? Aren't you the one who was recommended by the demon? Aren't you transferred to become a farmer? What's the situation? Wang Li hesitated for a moment and was about to ask further. Linen had gradually walked away. Time flies. Unconsciously, it was already dawn. Linen killed for a whole night, and due to his high physique, he was neither tired nor tired at all. I've finally reached level 9. Indeed, the higher the level, the more difficult it is to upgrade. Lin En's whole body once again erupted with a light green beam of light. He opened the professional attribute panel and happily enjoyed his attributes. Name. Linen, occupation. Farmer, S.level, variant, level. 9, 1%, power. 90 plus 5, agility. 90 plus 13, constitution. 190 plus 14, spirit. 190 plus 5, resistance. Bleeding resistance plus 5, equipment. Silver Moon Spear, Brave Leather Hat, Brave Leather Armor, Swift Leather Pants, Swift Leather Boots, Soul Necklace, Red Heart Ring. Linen checked his storage box in the wooden house of Soul Farm again. There are a lot of monster materials inside, which can be sold for a lot of money. In addition, the number of F.level biological magic crystals has also accumulated to 75. By this calculation, I can collect another 25 pieces and even get through to Magic City University directly with my strength, without relying on the number of recommended student spots. Pop 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 pop. As Linen was happily counting the harvest, a fierce fighting sound suddenly came from ahead. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. The mighty Zhou Wenying. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Lin temporarily collected all the farm creatures and cautiously leaned forward. At the end of the road ahead was a dense cluster of shrubs, and he slowly crawled in. Is that her? This guy is so strong. Lin saw through the cracks in the bushes a cold girl holding an incredibly sharp short sword in each hand, fighting alone against 5 claw rippers. She was as light as a swallow, with light steps, swiftly shuttling back and forth in the encirclement of monsters. At the same time, the double-edged sword in her hand was so skillful that it kept leaving deep bloodstains on the demon's body. She is Lin's classmate, a double-edged swordsman and Zhou Wenying. When she changed jobs in the morning, her career potential was A. level, second only to Lin. Not long after, the 5 claws torn apart were completely slain by Zhou Wenying. Is this the dual sword flow that emphasizes extreme killing and destruction? This fighting style makes people's blood boil. I've heard before that her family is a family passed down by swordsmen, and it really lives up to its reputation. I don't think I'm her opponent right now. Lin silently estimated the strength comparison with Zhou Wenying in his heart. Zhou Wenying's ability to kill monsters is entirely due to her own hard power. She seamlessly combines her physical fitness and professional skills. Lin, on the other hand, relies mainly on the creatures on the farm to kill monsters and occasionally repairs his own wounds. However, there is no other way. Lin's professional characteristics are just like this. Currently, he doesn't have any proactive skills of his own. It seems that we need to upgrade the farm as soon as possible and cultivate more farm creatures. A large number of people have great power, and at that time, we can completely adopt the strategy of a sea of people. Lin silently pondered in his heart. At this moment, Zhou Wenying, who had killed the monster, decisively broke into a strange cave next to him. Lin just realized that the surface of the cave was faintly shining with black light, which couldn't help but give people a feeling of fear. Is this cave an additional question for this year's college entrance examination? The so-called college entrance examination additional questions are specially prepared by the Empire for those top-notch professionals. It is said that additional questions usually feature very powerful monsters, and it is estimated that there will be elite-level boss monsters. It seems like we need to go in and maybe have a chance to obtain the World Stone. After thinking it over, Lin also crawled out of the bushes. As soon as they came out, 5 claw-tearing creatures suddenly emerged near the entrance of the eerie cave. Claw Ripper. Level 10, Features. Earth-type creatures, with fierce wolf-like claws. If hit by them, there is a certain chance of falling into a bleeding state. Shoo. 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 Lin made a decisive decision and immediately summoned 7 overlord flowers. They were scattered and placed in front of them, forming a semi-circular formation, protecting Lin behind them. At this point, 2 sharp claw-tearing individuals had already rushed towards them. Entangled. Lin saw the move and broke it down. Suddenly, 2 plants of bound foot grass appeared, grabbing the hind legs of the 2 claws tearing apart, causing them to stiffen in the air for a while. Up. 3 flowers formed a group, and 2 groups of overlord flowers immediately divided into 2 groups, and launched a violent boxing on the head of the claw ripper. Ah-da. Ah-da. The 2 claws torn apart instantly broke their heads and shed blood. Due to too many blows to the head, one of them immediately fell into a brief dizziness. This is the special skill of the top king flower. When boxing the head continuously, there is a certain chance to cause the opponent to feel dizzy. Ow! At the same time, one of the claws tearing apart had already wrapped around Lin's side and flew towards him. However, Lin was already on guard, and the last foot binding grass had already been arranged next to him, and another entangled surprise attack came. The last idle king flower then repeated its old trick and, under the cover of the foot-binding grass, launched an attack on the claw ripper. Under the command of Lin, the other 6 overlord flowers were once again divided into 4 and divided into 2 groups to encircle and suppress the remaining 2 claw rippers. Of course, Linen himself was not idle either. While giving orders, he also carried the silver moon spear and took the lead in attacking the previously dizzying claw ripper. He aimed at the already scarred wolf's head and poked it more than 10 times, decisively ending its life. As the opponent continued to downsize, Linen quickly completed the encirclement and suppression of the remaining claw rippers. Whew! There is no danger. Linen took a deep breath. Compared to Zhou Wenying's exquisite killing techniques, Lin En's combat style further tests his ability to deploy troops and micro-control farm creatures. Every command must have appropriate benefits. Of course, this is also the saying when fighting in a group fight. If there is only one opponent, it is very simple, such as a fight. After killing the 5 claw-tearing guards, Linen walked straight into the eerie cave. After entering the cave, there is a very deep passage in front of you, about 3 meters wide and high. As Linen advanced, the terrain of the passage continued to slowly extend downwards, as if it was about to reach a certain point underground. Along the way, the lone patrolling claw rippers also kept appearing, all easily eliminated by Linen. Half an hour later. Suddenly, Linen came to a relatively flat mountain platform with a bright light in front of him. Is this the final boss? Just below the mountain platform in the valley, Zhou Wenying is fighting a huge wolf-shaped creature. The body of this giant wolf is twice the size of a claw ripper, estimated to be 2 meters tall, and its speed is also faster than that of a claw ripper. However, Zhou Wenying's speed is still faster. She is using exquisite combat skills to constantly create bloodstains on the body of the giant wolf. Nevertheless, the giant wolf's physique seems to be very high and its momentum has not diminished at all. However, a scene of discord occurred afterwards. I saw the giant wolf rush towards Zhou Wenying with its entire body, disregarding danger, as if wanting to trade his injuries for his own. But then its tail suddenly grew longer, hitting Zhou Wenying's abdomen like a whip. Oh no! Linen was startled and couldn't help but worry about it. After all, despite being unpopular in the class, Zhou Wenying didn't seem to look down on him despite being a classmate. Because this woman is very indifferent to everyone and only focuses on kendo, she is not interested in boring discriminatory tricks. On this side, Zhou Wenying was drawn backwards due to unforeseen circumstances. However, she adjusted her posture in the air. After landing, she directly took out a bottle of therapeutic medicine from the storage bag and drank it. Subsequently, she shook her head, seeming somewhat unwilling, and immediately fled towards the direction outside the cave. However, the Wolf King did not pursue closely, but retreated to the depths of the valley. Seeing Zhou Wenying retreating, Linen followed the downhill path towards the direction of the valley. Not long after, he met Zhou Wenying face-to-face. Is that you? Zhou Wenying was somewhat surprised, but then regained his composure and added, "Be careful, the Wolf King's defense is very high." "I understand, thank you," Linen replied briefly. 2 people passed by, one up and the other down. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Amazing Will Battle, Farm Upgrade. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Linen quickly descended to the bottom of the valley along the circular slope. After the recent battle, the Wolf King seemed to have not fully recovered and hid next to a huge rock, licking his wound. Claw Wolf King. Level 10, Elite, Boss, Features. Soil-type organisms, others unknown. It is indeed an elite-level monster boss. Shoo. 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 Take advantage of your illness. I'll take your life. Linen wouldn't sympathize with monsters. He slowly approached, and then 7 overlord flowers appeared out of nowhere, besieging the Claw Wolf King. Ow! The Claw Wolf King was burning with anger. He was about to stand up and counterattack, but found himself unable to move. 3 out of 4 legs are each bound by a green plant rhizome. The Overlord flower continued to attack fiercely during this time period, while Linen naturally tried to maintain a distance as much as possible, but at the same time, it was not too far. After all, his current sensing distance for farm creatures is only 10 meters. Beyond the sensing distance, Linen will lose control over the summoned object. However, the siege lasted for less than a few seconds, and the Claw Wolf King decisively swung his only free left front leg. Its claws are like sharp blades, cutting off not only the roots of the foot-binding grass, but also directly killing it with a single blow. Lin En's mind twitched as she could no longer retrieve this foot-binding plant. This is the first time that his farm creatures have been instantly killed. There's still too much difference in levels. After all, the foot-binding grass is only at level 3 and cannot withstand the fierce blow of the Claw Wolf King. Linen made a decisive decision and immediately took out a king flower seed from the storage box to plant on the vacant farmland. Although currently in combat, due to the huge time conversion rate between the farm and reality, entering the farm and planting crops takes less than 1 second in reality. At this point, the 2 forelimbs of the Claw Wolf King were completely free. It vigorously kicked and leaped upwards, directly uprooting the 2 tangled grass plants that bound its hind limbs from the ground, and both perished. Linen lost 2 more beloved generals. He immediately added 2 more king flowers on the farm without stopping, just in case. The seeds of the king flower were still abundant and have been preserved. After regaining his freedom, the Claw Wolf King did not idle and waved his front paw. Bang! 2 unlucky king flowers flew backwards, falling 5.6 meters away. Fortunately, the Bawang flower is a level 8 creature with a relatively high physique and did not die with just 1 claw. However, Linen sensed that their health had also decreased by about a quarter. Recycling. Linen immediately took the injured 2 king flowers back to the farm. Because he had learned from previous battles that the creatures on the farm would continuously recover their health until they were completely healthy. On the front battlefield, there are still 5 dominant flowers fighting tenaciously. They caused some damage to the Claw Wolf King, but the damage was not significant. In less than a second, the 2 king flowers on the farm were completely healthy. After all, more than a minute has already passed inside the farm, and so much time is enough to fully restore the health of the flower. The 2 king flowers that had regained their health began to join the battle and began to besiege the Claw Wolf King. Next second. Bang! 2 more dominant flowers were knocked out by the Claw Wolf King. Another second has passed. Under Lin En's emergency operation, 2 completely healthy king flowers returned with blood. In this way, a perfect closed loop has been formed. Hurt 2, recover 2. This is a wonderful chariot will battle. 1 minute on the farm, reality has only passed 0.83 seconds. By utilizing the perfect advantage of the huge time conversion rate between reality and soul farms, Lin En's troops on this side have never been lost again. In addition, during the battle, Lin En's own spiritual power can also be infinitely replenished without worrying about exhaustion. On the other hand, on the side of the Claw Wolf King, its health is gradually decreasing. In 20 minutes. Shoo, shoo, shoo. 3 brand new and mature king flowers have finally joined the battlefield, together besieging the Claw Wolf King. The advantage of Linen's side continues to expand. After another 5 minutes, the aura of the Claw Wolf King seemed to gradually fade away, and it had completely broken through its defense. In another minute, the Claw Wolf King finally ran out of strength and fell to the ground with a loud crash. A prolonged battle finally declared victory. It can be said that the Claw Wolf King was crushed to death. Successfully killed the Claw Wolf King. Experience plus 688. Obtain World Stone X1, obtain E.level Biological Magic Crystal X1, obtain Wolf King's Heart X1, obtain Wolf King Claw X2, at the same time, Lin An's whole body once again burst into a light green light. Finally rose to level 10. Perfect. A Daifengshu, salad of assorted fresh vegetables. It's already level 10, and I've also received the World Stone. This is a colorful stone, containing mysterious spatial power, and no one knows its origin. The main material of Wenying stone is the stone of the world. In addition, the construction of various spatial formations also requires the World Stone, and many types of spatial facilities cannot do without it. Is this an E.level biological magic crystal? I'll go, it's equivalent to 100 F.level biological magic crystals. Adding the 85 pieces I previously collected, wouldn't that be equivalent to 185 pieces? Let's take a look at the property panel first. Let's do the same. Name. Lin An, occupation. Farmer, S.level, variant, level. 10, 0.8%, power. 100 plus 5, agility. 100 plus 13, constitution. 210 plus 14, spirit. 210 plus 5, resistance. Bleeding resistance plus 5, equipment. Silver moon spear, brave leather hat, brave leather armor, swift leather pants, swift leather boots, soul necklace, red heart ring. Well, all the 4-dimensional attributes have exceeded 100. Okay, upgrade to Soul Farm. Lin An eagerly entered the farm and stood at the entrance of the farm, summoning the upgrade interface. Upgrade Soul Farm. A message appeared before his eyes. Yes. The next moment, Lin An's eyes lit up, and the entire space of the farm emitted waves of white light. It seems that some new facilities have also been added to the farm. After 10 seconds. Upgrade completed, Soul Farm. Level 2, Facilities. Exquisite Wooden House, Agricultural Land X20, Breeding Shed X2, Exquisite Wooden House. Can restore 2 points of mental power per second, with a storage capacity of 200 grids, farmland. Bawang Flower X10, Breeding Shed. Can be used to raise land animals. Each shed has a capacity of 5, and can only be used to raise the same species. Next upgrade. Career level needs to reach level 20, with 10 world stones. Lin An walked into the farm, and as expected, there were already 10 more fertile farmland. On the side of the farmland, there are 2 more exquisite breeding sheds. Upon entering, there were only 5 locations inside each breeding shed, each covered with exquisite animal feed. Finally, there was the dilapidated wooden house, which had been completely renovated, as if it had been renovated. Oh. By the way. At level 10, I can unlock new career skills. I don't know what new skills there are. Exiting the farm, Lin An opened the skill panel. At his current level, there are a total of 4 skill icons available for unlocking in the skill tree, and each skill only requires 1 skill point. According to common sense, professionals can unlock skills as little as 3 to 5 points, and even up to 10 points. The sharper the skill, the higher the skill points required. From level 1 to level 10, Lin An has accumulated a total of 9 skill points. He unlocked all the new skills at once. Domestication. Consumes 1 mental power to tame animals on the brink of death and raise them in the breeding shed of Soul Farm, breeding. Consumes 1 point of mental power, can breed 2 animals of the same species, male and female, and can give birth to newborns in a few days, extraction. Consumes 1 point of mental energy and can periodically extract valuable derivative products from animals, riding. Consumes 1 mental energy, communicates friendly with animals, can be used as a vehicle for driving. I finally understood that my skills, whether unlocked or used, only require 1 point of mental power. Ha. I can actually ride it, it's so exciting. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.